What's up, my soul fam? So I have a really cool experience to share with you. That is today's channeled message is a dream that I had that I was told I was entrusted with so that I could share it with the collective. This is something new that I'm going to be bringing to the table, sharing dreams. I don't know how often it'll happen, but just to put that out there. For those of you who are new here, my name is Chelsea Curtis. I am a reality architect, an interdimensional channel, a psychic medium, and a galactic ambassador. And my dream was that I experienced the night the great solar flash happened. And I know some of you guys are probably like, but it's a solar flash. Why did it happen at night? It was nighttime where I was. The sun is always hitting the earth, always. I just happened to be on the side that it wasn't hitting. That is the answer to that question. But I wanted to share with you what the experience was like because I feel like we've heard from a lot of different people what they intuitively feel like it's going to be like, or what they have channeled it's going to be like. And I am not here in any way, shape, or form to prove any of them wrong or to say that they are wrong. I am merely here to share with you my experience as my guides allowed me to have it in dream time. So the dream started off, I was with another individual that I didn't know. I think they were having a similar experience in the dream. And in the midst of our activities, we heard this massive boom. It was very loud. It was very deep and big. It shook the building that we were in. We ran outside. It was a house that I'm not familiar with, so I think I was tapping into the consciousness of another person. Um, we ran outside. There was a screened-in back porch, and on the other side of the screen, I could see fairies, and they were hovering, and they began talking to me, Chelsea, the consciousness. And I was like, "Are you fairies?" And they said, "Yes, we are. The great solar flash has occurred. The veil has been completely torn down, and humanity is now fully in 5D." I was like, "Okay, here we fucking go." Um, so me and this individual left the house that we were in. I got into my car. At this point, I was fully in like me. Um, and as I'm driving, I'm having experiences with other people and their perspectives of the event. So, first of all, as I'm driving, I can see so much. I could see energy. But the biggest things that struck me, I was in like Appalachia. Everything was very dark because I was like in the backwoods. But when I got into the more populated areas, everybody had electricity. Everybody was using their cell phones. Houses were lit. Street lights were on. So that's one big thing that they wanted me to share. I think a lot of people think that the Great Solar Flash is going to knock us back into like pre-technology era, and it's not, or at least not in my experience. The second thing I noticed as I was looking up into the sky, I saw biblically accurate angelic beings. I'm talking like the intertwined rings that are spinning around each other with an eye in the middle. I saw 4 of them in the sky. The next thing I saw were UFOs everywhere. Star being ships. UFOs meaning that they're unidentified. I knew that they were star being ships in my dream. I knew exactly what they were, and they were everywhere. There was a lot of chaos because people were trying to figure out what was happening. Okay. Everybody could feel the shift. Everybody could tell that something really, truly massive had happened, but not a lot of people really knew what was happening. A lot of the religious groups, and I'm talking about all religions, who have a preconceived notion about what this period of time is going to be. In Christianity, it's called the Revelation. There are a lot of other names for it that I'm not going to go through. That's the only one I can think of at the moment. were kind of in a tailspin because of what they thought was going to happen next. Um, they were gathering family near. They were all getting into one building, gathering rations. It was very end times, um, zombie apocalypse esque energy. And then there were people who were trying to figure out if we'd been bombed, who were trying to figure out if there was some kind of a threat, a physical threat here on Earth. Um, they weren't as frantic as the hyper religious sector, but they were still, gathering their family, trying to get to a safe location, trying to ascertain what had happened. And then there was my perspective. Okay. Now I can't share this from the perspective of other spiritual people. I was told my perspective was the one that I needed to share in this aspect, or in this respect. I knew what was happening. Okay. Not only had I been told by the fairy being at the very beginning, but I knew what was happening. I knew that this was the great solar flash. I knew that we were stepping into a new vibrational frequency. I knew what was happening, and there was no fear. I was trying to get home because there was so much chaos happening everywhere else. I was trying to get to my family, to my child and my husband. But other than that, I wasn't scared. I didn't feel the need to stockpile food. Um, as I stated previously, we had lights, cars were running, everybody had access to their cell phones. All right. I don't know if you guys can hear that. There's like a very loud cicada behind me, but as if to answer what I'm saying, to confirm. But it was not something to be scared of. And I think that's the point that my guides are trying to drive home with this, because I feel that we are in a period of time where we are incredibly close to experiencing this. And my guides want to help the collective dispel as much energy as humanly possible. So please know that, as with all change, yes, there's going to be some chaos in the beginning as everybody gains their bearing and figures out this new reality that we'll be finding ourselves in. But otherwise, everything is going to be so beautiful and wonderful and high vibrational. And again, high vibrational doesn't just mean love and light and warm and fuzzy. It just means freedom and knowledge and remembrance, stepping into our power and our truth, something that we have been kept in the dark about for millennia. So I hope that this helps all of you. I love you all so much. And as always, you are so incredibly beautiful. You are pure fucking magic. You are deeply and irrevocably loved. And you are never alone. Mwah.